Because he kept showing up last year.
Yeah, Greg last year. Was
Did he go?
Oh, yeah, they went.
Yeah, he got on the news like twice.
Oh,
Was it good or bad news?
Good.
Oh, no.
Okay, that's good.
Him and Vic Lombardi, they came best buds.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Greg followed him around.
They did.
Weirdo.
Where did they go play out of town that they went to in England?
All right, 6 o'clock. Start the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, just remind you to silence your cell phones. I'll start with roll call.
Mayor Sherman?
Here.
Councilor Basil?
Here.
Councilor Gorell?
Here.
Councilor Lundstrom?
Here.
Councilor Scalisi?
Here.
Councilor Spradlin?
Here.
Councilor Tyree?
Here.
Good. Approval of the agenda. Do we have any additions or changes? I know we do have one addition to our agenda. After our second reading, we're going to add the DOLA Ready Grant application. I think Dan has a statement. Do you have a statement, Dan?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. We try not to add these kind of things, but because this is simply authorization to go after this grant, and there's no statutory requirement for public comment, I feel comfortable adding this.
Okay, thank you. So if everybody's good with that, I'd look for a motion to approve the agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda for regular meeting April 22nd, 2024 with the addition from the city attorney.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Councilor Scalisi?
Yes.
Councilor Gorell?
Yes.
Councilor Lundstrom?
Yes.
Councilor Tyree?
Yes.
Councilor Basil?
Yes.
Councilor Spradlin?
Yes.
Mayor Sherman?
Yes. Motion passes. Approval of the minutes. We've all had a chance to read the minutes from our last meeting. Does anybody have any corrections? If not, I look for a motion to approve.
I move we approve the minutes from the regular meeting of April 8th, 2024.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Councilor Tyree?
Yes.
Councilor Scalisi?
Yes.
Councilor Spradlin?
Yes.
Councilor Basil?
Yes.
Councilor Lundstrom?
Yes.
Councilor Gorell?
Yes.
Mayor Sherman?
Yes. That motion passes. All right, we have visitors and delegations. First up, we have Sarah Arndt with New Vision Services. Welcome.
Good evening. So my name is Sarah Arndt. I work inside St. Elizabeth Hospital in Fort Martin. So what we have there is a program called New Vision. I gave everybody a pamphlet, and there's plenty outside here in the folder. We're a medical detox, and I just wanted to present it to the city and anybody who may be tuning in tonight to learn about this service. So it's a medical detox. We do all the substances: alcohol, benzos, diazepines such as Xanax and Ativan. We're also able to do stimulants, including methamphetamines and any of the opiates. It's a medical admission onto the medical floor if the people meet criteria. They would call this number on the front of the pamphlet. They can self-refer, friends, family can sit with them with the initial call, and then we would do the pre-screening, run their pay source, which we can accept all major insurances that the hospital takes, including Medicare and Medicaid, because it is a medical admission. With that, then we would schedule them to come in for a one-on-one individual assessment. If they meet criteria, we present them to the doctor to be admitted onto the medical floor like any other patient, where they would then be treated through the hospital for medical detox. And then what we do for post-follow-up care is we provide case management services so that when they walk out, they are either scheduled for a follow-up appointment. They're provided no less than 3 resources for substance abuse treatment programming, including social support such as AA, NA, Celebrating Recovery. It's new. We've only been open for 3 weeks, accepting patients inside the hospital. So the best way to get information out is just give it to the public and let you guys talk about it, share it, friends and family, neighbors, anybody, because unfortunately it is a very high need service out in this area. And then I just wanted to be able to answer any questions that you might have about it, so that when you are talking about it with your community members, you have good answers, or just refer them to call this number.
Is it an inpatient treatment? Do they get admitted for a certain amount of time, or just come and
Great
go?
question. 3 to 5 days average stay for detox, medical managed withdrawal. 3 seems to be average. 3.2 days is the average, so at least 3 midnights in a medical bed. And then they either can go on to outpatient or residential if they're able to get a bed at a residential programming or sober living.
What do you do if they don't have insurance?
There is a cash price that they could work with the hospital financial, or we would refer them to another program that we would be able to afford.
Do you have an online socials presence? I see there's an online presence, but in socials, because that tends to be the platforms that a lot of people use.
New Vision does have their own. I just don't know how much is pushed out here. I can send images to a council member, and you guys can push it out on your socials. But as far as like our marketing team having our own, we don't have one specifically for St. Elizabeth's Hospital. Because we are contracted with, so we work inside the hospital. I wear a hospital badge, but we are a separate company that's partnered with St. Elizabeth Common Spirit.
We tend to run into the issue where we have a population that only sees things in print, and then we have a population that only sees things if it's on a social media platform. So that's why I asked if we could help share that information. So a PDF would be great.
Yep, I can get it sent over. I just need an email address from somebody.
I know they're all different, but most insurances, do they cover most of this, or is it on average?
So because it's billed medically, there is a medical necessity for these people to be admitted into the service. So it would be covered as a medical service, not necessarily behavioral.
Okay.
And that's what makes it different, that we're able to accept Medicare patients, is because it is billed medically and not behavioral health. Because if it was billed behavioral health, then Medicare would not cover it. But it is a hospital admission. They are given medications on a scheduled taper so that they come in and they're as comfortable as you possibly can doing a detox.
Is this something law enforcement can use in lieu of incarceration, like for people that are coming in that are impaired, drunk, or high?
That's an excellent question. It is 100% voluntary.
Okay.
So they can call with, like an officer can call with them, and we can schedule to bring them in. They can put them in the front seat of the car and bring them, but nobody in cuffs, nobody on holds, nobody under arrest, no court orders. If they are in front of a judge and the judge tells them they have 90 days to provide 3 clean UAs or whatever is part of their service, and if they choose to use this as an opportunity to reach that first clean UA after they detox, then yes, of course, it's still voluntary, but they cannot be told by a judge that they have to go into this program. If that is the case, then we would refer them to another agency.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Good question.
Any other questions?
Very good.
Perfect, thank you so much.
And then Lorenda probably has an email address for you.
Okay. Do you want to email it to me or? Okay.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
All right, next we have citizen comments. Citizens are invited to speak to council on any item that does not have a public hearing scheduled. There's a 5-minute time limit per person. Do we have anybody here for public comment? Nope. Okay. All right, so next we have a public hearing. Public hearing on the ordinance of the City Council of the City of Brush amending Chapter 7, Health, Sanitation, and Animals, and Chapter 16, Land Use Code of the Code of Ordinances of Brush, Colorado regarding chickens. So first I will open the public hearing, and then Monty will give us a staff report.
Okay, meeting's open, or the hearing's open, I guess.
Hearing's open, yeah.
So real quickly, a staff report is, this is the ordinance for chickens, allowing chickens in the community. A little history is that the voters of City of Brush voted for the council to put an ordinance in place to allow for the chickens. And then we had a series of meetings, both in regular meetings and work sessions with the city council and some staff members, talking about the ordinance and the code that we would follow. And the best way to describe it is that there were some in our group that want a little more stringent type codes to follow, and then there's some that want a little more relaxed or ease up on those a little bit. So we kind of met in the middle, and the last time that we had met at a work session before we had our first reading of the chicken ordinance, we all got to a point where we pretty much were somewhat all agreed on what the code should be, the rules, requirements, etc. And the city council did do the first reading of the ordinance, and then now this is the second to where we open it up to the public for comments. And I'll let Tyler and/or who was the other person?
Dan.
Dan Krob, if they want to add to that, they sure can. And but this is the public hearing for that.
Does anybody want to add anything? Do you want to add anything, Dan?
I think Monty did a good job of summarizing it, but I'm happy to answer any questions that might come up.
Okay. I'm good. All right, so members of the public have the opportunity to make statements either in support or in opposition of the ordinance. Anyone addressing city council must first come to the podium and please state your name and address before making your comments. Each party giving testimony will be given one opportunity to speak and must direct all questions regarding the ordinance to the mayor. Do we have anybody for public testimony on the ordinance? Nope. Okay. Does council have any other questions? Okay. So then I will go ahead and ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
I move we close the public hearing.
Second.
Any more discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Basil?
Yes.
Counselor Lundstrom?
Yes.
Counselor Spradlin?
Yes.
Counselor Garrell?
Yes.
Counselor Tyree?
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi?
Yes.
Mayor Sherman?
Yes. Okay, so second reading. So we need a motion to approve on second reading and read the title from the counselor.
I move we approve on second reading an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Brush, Colorado, amending Chapter 7, Health, Sanitation, and Animals, and Chapter 16, Land Use Code of the Code of Ordinances of Brush, Colorado regarding chickens.
Second.
Any more discussion?
I believe we need the ordinance number in that motion, do we not?
Yeah, if we could add that, that'd be helpful just for the record. Thank
What
you.
is the ordinance number?
That would be 909-24.
Okay.
Should I read the whole thing again?
Yep.
No,
Just
we
add
just,
it.
Okay. Ordinance number 909-24.
Okay. Very good. Roll call vote?
Counselor Garrell?
Yes.
Counselor Spradlin?
Yes.
Counselor Tyree?
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi?
Yes.
Counselor Basil?
Yes.
Counselor Lundstrom?
Yes.
Mayor Sherman?
Yes. All right, motion passes. So I think the next step in that is that we have to wait 30 more days before it's actually becomes a.
yeah, there's
Like a 30.
a 30-day referendum period, and then it should become effective.
Okay, very good. Thank you. All right, now we got the DOLA Ready Grant application. Tyler.
All right. To be honest, I was expecting a lot of people here to make comments. Okay, right on. So this was last minute, obviously, coming on the agenda. So the last number of years, DOLA, Department of Local Affairs, has put together a REDI grant, R-E-D-I, Rural Economic Development Initiative. It's tied back to 7 or 8 years ago. They started the program to try to get funding into rural areas to help economic development activities move along. One of the criteria has always been directly tied to a project that is likely to come in, and then some type of economic incentive or funds from the state in this sense would help move that project forward. And so we do have a proposed project up at the Armbar subdivision, not the Maverick, that's already going forward on that, but they are looking to come in. It's about a $4.4 million investment into that property itself. And the funds themselves are somewhat limited and restricted as to what you can use them for. And we were kind of thrown in this last minute. We had submitted an application, and then Monty was at a conference last week and ran into someone from DOLA, and they said, hey, we need you to do these things ASAP. And so one of them is getting council support for us to go forward with the application. And so what the application is for access to one of the lots up there that has not been created yet, just ingress, egress to help the flow of movement on the property. We estimate about an $80,000 cost, and we're requesting $40,000 for the grant, so half of that cost, and then the remaining amount we're going to split between ourselves and the developer for that, if it goes forward. And so this proposal tonight, or this request tonight, is simply that council would approve us with that criteria and that component of the application. I know it's very vague in general, but that's kind of where things are.
So you're looking for a motion to approve applying for the Ready Grant?
Correct.
Okay. So anybody have any questions? Anybody want to make a motion?
I move we approve the Dole Ready Grant application.
Second.
Any more discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Lundstrom?
Yes.
Counselor Tyree?
Yes.
Counselor Basil?
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi?
Yes.
Counselor Gorell?
Yes.
Counselor Spradlin?
Yes.
Mayor Sherman?
Yes.
All right, thank you. And then if we need to, we'll come back at our next council meeting for a formal resolution if that's required. All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, next we have finance.
I move we approve disbursements and payroll for April 9th, 2024 through April 22nd, 2024, totaling $504,835.24.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Spradlin?
Yes.
Counselor Lundstrom?
Yes.
Counselor Basil?
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi?
Yes.
Counselor Tyree?
Yes.
Counselor Gorell?
Yes.
Mayor Sherman?
Yes. Motion passes. All right, staff reports. Tyler Purvis.
I'll actually keep my mouth quiet tonight.
Do you? All right. Did Joanne put you up to that?
No.
I'm just threatening you.
We got a Nuggets game, so we got to get
I know. Okay, Joanne.
Well, I'm gonna talk tonight. I just actually have one quick item. In your packet this evening, you would have had a copy of the third quarter financial status report. And just wanted to point out that in our general fund, that our sales tax is doing very well. We should have collected 25% of our total revenues, and we've actually collected 32%. A large portion of that is due to sales tax. The expenditures have spent 19%, and our budget instead of the budgeted 25%. So both sides of it are doing very well. Water, if you took a close look at that water, the revenues are down, but those should pick up once the watering season begins. We're in the first of the year and we have that tiered rate system, and that makes it change a little bit. So I wouldn't panic on that yet. And once again, the expenditure down. Revenue, trash fund's right on target, wastewater's right on target, and the stormwater is really actually on target, but it doesn't look great because it's got in there that loan, and we haven't did anything with the loan yet, so that's why it looks a little off. But other than that, everything looks good.
Yeah. Thank you, Joanne.
Sure.
Chen Cole.
I have nothing.
City Clerk?
I don't know.
Dan Croft, do you have anything for us tonight?
I do not.
All right, Monty Torres.
Just a couple items. One is the Prairie Charles Park project. If you go out there to Prairie Charles Park, you'll see a lot of work being done. They're doing all the ground leveling right now, and right before I came into City Hall this evening, I went by there and they're very active out there. So they're going to try and do a hard push on that project to get that one completed. And then shortly after that, the contractor is going to shift over to Cambridge Street, and that is the project where we're putting in the stormwater mains and some collector lines, and also a large retention pond for the stormwater. And that's moving forward. They're kind of holding off a little bit on that because they want the school traffic to go away, which we've only got a few more weeks of school. A few more weeks of school. Maybe 4 weeks of school, right? About 4. Somewhere around there.
It's just about right.
Yeah, so we're getting there, and we just want to get that traffic out of the way before we tackle that one. There's one other item I was going to mention, and forgetting it now. Well, I'll let you guys know through an email if I remember what I was going to tell you. But anyways, that's all I had this evening.
Very good. Mayor and council reports. Do any councilors have anything to?
I just wanted to mention about the Arbor Day
Oh, yeah.
that I attended. It was the third graders. They were troopers with the cold, snow, and wind blowing out at the golf course. They did a great job reading poems, and we had 4 winners, first, second, third in 4 classes. And the kids were very happy, and they didn't dress for the weather, but they were happy to get it done and go home, go back to school. So it was a okay event.
And their winning posters are hanging at the library.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
I would just like to share about something that I am working on. For the last 12 years, I have coordinated the Morgan County Youth Baseball Day at the Rockies. Last year, I partnered with the Homefield Sports Exchange, which is Kevin Strauss' charity, to support youth in their sports in Morgan County. We're going to have 2 dates this year, and $6 from each ticket will go toward that charitable organization to support sports for youth in Morgan County. And Lance has that information, and I also have it, so if anyone wants to reach out to be able to go to a Rockies game, the great thing about it is the kids that participate get to walk in a parade around the warning track. So lots of good things going on there, so I just wanted to share that information.
I'm not a baseball guy. What's the warning track?
It's the track, the dirt track that goes all the way around the outside of the ball field.
So they know when they're about to hit the fence.
I got you.
And they also, they're walking right past players, and these seats are 20 rows off the field.
Nice.
And for a very affordable price.
Even though it's still the Rockies, but.
I was gonna say.
It's for a good cause.
There we go. Thank you.
Comedy season's done until October, looks like. Last show was a massive hit. Lance told me the number they made for that tournament and the comedy show, and it was big, so it's a good send-off.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
It was a fun show.
it was a good time,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was very fun.
It was the first time that many Brush references have been put into a comedy show, ever. Ever. Where he picked up people in the audience and started telling stories about it. It was fun, so.
Very good. I have something, I have decided not to rerun for my CML executive board seat. It's just, I haven't been able to make it to most of the meetings. A lot of them I can do by Zoom, but I just feel like I'm not contributing everything I should be. So if anyone is interested in running for that, let me know and I'll help you and so how you get elected at the CML conference. And then you have your first meeting there and pretty much kicks off your terms.
Cool.
It's a 2-year term.
And you're the small community rep?
A small community rep, yep.
Do you have to be a mayor or just a counselor?
There's counselors, there's city attorneys, I think there might be a city manager, but yeah. So-
Yeah, when you go to the conference, you'll see all their, well, you've been there, all their posters, everything everywhere, and they have their little goodies and their giveaways, and
I just felt like I never qualified, so I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's a mayor thing.
Yeah, you don't have to be a mayor. Yep.
yeah, there's all kinds of different people doing it.
Mhm. Yeah, it was a good experience. I learned a lot. It was pretty cool, but it was a lot. Yeah, it hurt my brain kind of. So, anybody else? All right, then I would look for a motion to adjourn and go into work session.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Eunice.